Hello, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be creating a sewing room. I'm so incredibly excited for this because I've never really had a really great place to do my sewing. I've usually just done it all in my room, and that's where I film it as well because my room has the best lighting in the house. Here I will insert some footage of my current sort of sewing room. I also run my Etsy shop out of this space, and it does have plenty of table space, but I basically just use this place for storage now, and I just get the things that I need and bring them up to my room to use them because, for one thing, I cannot film down there. The lighting is absolutely horrendous. And while the storage is kind of functional, it's not great because everything is out in the open, so you can just see everything, and it's kind of a mess at all times. However, there is a room right next to my bedroom in this house. Previously, this was sort of my mom's office, and she kept a lot of her businessy things there, and she would create products for her shop, but now she has more substantial space in her actual physical shop, so she doesn't really need this room anymore. And so I am so incredibly fortunate to be able to turn this room into my new sewing room. This will be super useful for being able to film and take pictures of all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. But as it is currently, all of my stuff is still downstairs, so we have a lot of work to do. This process will take multiple days getting everything up there and making it look nice. This will begin today because any minute I have a piece of furniture arriving to be put into the room. I'll give you a look at that when it arrives, but for now, let's go take a look at the room I'll be moving into. So this is the door to my room, and then there's a closet, and then right next to that is this room. So as you can see, there's a few things that need to be moved out of here. There's this exercise machine that will be moved downstairs where my current sewing situation is. And we have a lovely window which lets in the fabulous light. And there is a closet right here which needs a knob to be put onto it. But if I open it, you can see that there's a decent amount of space in there. This will be awesome for storing fabric and stuff. There's currently just like some random books and linens, like bedding and stuff. Then next to that is this dresser, which is mostly empty, I believe, so I'll be able to use this too. And then we have these shelves, which also have some random things at the moment. I think that these shelves will be awesome for keeping some of my Etsy stuff because I have a lot of very pretty things to be sold, like some bone china and stuff, so I think it would be nice to be able to sort of display them. So yeah, this is the room. I do need to do a little bit of moving around right now because the piece of furniture that I got, I would like to go right where the dresser is, so I'm going to move that under the window. Also, slightly random, this door needs to be painted. It's rather streaky, so it could use a little help. Now, to prepare a little more for the furniture to come, I'm going to vacuum the room. The furniture has arrived. So this is the furniture that I got. It's this lovely armoire. And I would like to hang my vintage dresses and such in there. And then it also came with this side table, which matches it. And that will be going in the closet in the bottom there. And I'll probably be keeping sewing notions like buttons and ribbon and all that kind of stuff in there. I waited until daytime to actually show you this because it got quite late by the time these pieces were actually delivered. But let me just show you the beauty that is this piece of furniture. Just love all of these little vintagey details. It's so incredibly pretty. So basically all I need to do now is go and get some baskets and boxes to start carrying out all the things that are on these shelves and in the closet that do not need to be here anymore. I am so incredibly excited. I can't believe I actually get to turn this into my sewing room. So happy! Okay, I've cleared everything out, so we have a nice empty closet and a nice empty dresser. So I think that my next course of action is going to be bringing all of my fabric up here to put into the closet. I'm going to go and get the fabric, and then we can start sticking it in there and organizing it, probably by color, as I do with most things. Big old shocker. Most of my fabric is pink or blue, so we're gonna have a pink section probably up top, and then a blue section, and then a white section, and then a other section. This is a lot of fabric. Well, this may take a while. Let me just give you a good shot of all of what's happening here. We have this, and 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 that. So it's already mostly organized into color categories, which is useful, but I think that there's a lot of refolding to do because there's just a lot of kind of chaotic things happening. So I guess let's begin. Gotta start somewhere. It's started to get a little dim outside, so excuse the lighting change, but I've done a fair amount of work. I've folded all the fabric, and it's nicely organized, and then I also sort of was able to separate all of those pieces that were too small to go in the big stacks, but too big to throw away, and I put those in this basket in the corner here. And then I took some of the really tiny scraps, and I cut them up and put them in this bag, because that's really useful for stuffing dog toys and that kind of thing. So now that I'm pretty much done with the fabric, I think I'm gonna go and get a few more baskets. I have a lot of random notion-y things, like I have a lot of thread and a lot of buttons. I have a basket of leather and stuff like that, so I'm gonna go and get that and figure out what to do with it. And then I'll also need to reorganize some things into nicer baskets and boxes to put like in this. There's still that empty spot on that shelf. And I have even more random stuff like fake flowers and things. So yeah, I'm gonna go and get some more stuff to organize. So it's perhaps just a little bit of a disaster in here, but I've gotten a lot of stuff into this little side table. I have like jewelry-ish stuff and beads and stuff in the top drawer, and then I have a bunch of my embroidery thread, and then all of my ribbon and buttons. And then in the bottom drawer, I'm still figuring it out, but I have thought of a great idea for all of my fake flowers. Because I have acquired a lot of fake flowers, but there's a lot of these things that are actually super pretty, so I might as well display them on the shelf on the wall instead of hiding them away, you know, because it's a little more efficient for the storage. So I'm going to put all of my fake flowers into this jar, and I can put that on the shelf, and then I have this pretty little wire basket that has all of my lace in it, which I think looks quite nice. But there's still a lot of random things. There's some trash around here that I need to throw out, but I have a basket with my leather working stuff, which will go in the closet with the sewing things. There's a lot happening. So I'll just, I guess, give you some random clips of all of the chaos that's happening right now. In my sweet little blue gown, when I first wandered down into town, I was so proud and shy as I filled every eye, but in every shop window I tripped, passing by. Then in manner of fashion I frowned, and the world seemed to smile all around. It's another day, and now it's time to start bringing up my Etsy stuff. And this part is what takes up a lot of storage, because aside from the actual products that I sell, there's also the packaging, which is stuff like boxes and tissue and bubble wrap and all of that stuff. So yeah, I will start bringing it up. I think I mentioned this before. I would like to put all of my pretty stuff on these shelves, because I have things like teacups and teapots and pretty dishes kind of stuff that I can put on the shelves so that not only are they being stored, but I get to look at them because they're pretty. And then in the dresser under the window, I will mostly be keeping my packaging stuff. Okay, I've finished filling up the shelves and also the dresser. Now the things that still have to be done. We need to get the exercise machine out of here so that I can bring the table up here. I also need to give the door a fresh coat of paint and bring my vintage clothing in here so that I can hang it in the armoire. Then I have some things here to hang on the wall for a little bit later. These are some vintage and antique Valentines. These ones I got at the thrift store, and then this one used to belong to my great-grandmother Gwendolyn, and I think it's from like the 30s. So I think these would be a really nice addition to the wall. And then I have this dagger, and I also have a sword, I'll show you that later, that I would also like to hang on the wall because they're very cool looking. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. So we have all of the main organizational stuff done, which is nice. There's no more huge amounts of stuff to bring up here. But we still have a lot to do, so I will see you soon for some more of this room makeover once again. The table has arrived. There is a chair here, but I don't love it, partly because it's brown and doesn't go with the table, but because it's been partly painted and it was never finished, so I'd like to switch it out for a different chair. There's this white chair that used to be my desk chair in my room, except I got a different one, so it's unused in the house currently, so I think I'm gonna bring that one up here. I used to never really keep my sewing machine out because it kind of took up a lot of space, even though it's so beautiful. It's a 1906 hand-crank Singer sewing machine, and I love it, so I'm super excited to finally be able to display its glory. I did also consider the fact that there is a space right here, and it's bigger than I originally thought that it was going to be. So I could put something here. I'm not exactly sure what to put. I don't think it's practical enough to put the armoire there, even though it would be nice to see it as soon as you walk into the room. But yeah, I wouldn't really be able to open it because the air conditioner is right here. It does seem like a bit of too big of a space to have nothing here, though I'm not exactly sure if I have anything to go right here right now. But yeah, I'll figure that out eventually. I think right now, let's start hanging some things on the walls. Welcome to another day, and I'm going to paint the door because it is not looking so fantastic.
Made that much silk and then grown in the ground, 'cause there never was anything like it before, and I don't dare to hope there will be any more. And it's gone, 'cause it just had to be, till it dwells in my memory, in my sweet little when I first wandered down into town, I was so proud and shy as I filled every eye, but in every shop window I tripped, passing by. Then in manner of fashion I frowned, and the world seemed to smile all around.
Welcome to my finished sewing room. I am super happy with how this room turned out. I really like the color palette, the arrangement, and even the lighting is fantastic, so you can definitely expect to see this room in a lot of future videos. Now let me give you a little personal tour of this room now that it's finished. Here is the entrance to the room. Basically, the first thing you see when you walk in is this lovely mannequin. Her name is Nancy, by the way. I named her a while ago, so say hello to Nancy. Then we have my fabulous sword and dagger hanging on the wall. I think it looks so epic. Then when you shift over here, you have some more beautiful things on the wall. You have some of my laces and trims hanging here and a little inspiration board. This one I have yet to put things on, but I definitely will find something to put on there. Then right below that, we of course have my table, which has my beautiful antique sewing machine. Then over here I have this pink bin, and in here, it's kind of hard to take the lid off, but in there's a bunch of denim scraps because I make denim recycled dog toys for a boutique in my town, so there's that. Here we have my little basket of my usual sewing notions like scissors and my pin cushion and measuring tape. Right here, this is a random thing. I needed a place to put this. I just found this at the thrift store. It's a glass chessboard and it's like the coolest thing ever, and I was looking for a chess set, so there we go. Then we have the beautiful shelves with all of the things for my Etsy shop and such, as well as a few sewing notions up here, like some more trims, seam binding, and my fake flowers. Then turning back this way, we have the beautiful window, and this dresser, which has this vintage typewriter on it, and this old telephone. Then in here, we have mostly more Etsy stuff. We have a lot of the ephemera, vintage postcards, magazines, that kind of thing. And then in here is a lot more of the, I don't know, object-y things, like some of these little candle snuffer doohickeys. Here we have a lot of the papery stuff for packaging, like different colors of tissue paper, colorful pens, stamps, and all that. In the bottom drawer, we have quite a bit of space left, but there's a lot of like the textiles and stuff that I put on my Etsy shop. And then in this drawer, we just have like boring packaging stuff like wrapping paper. Then we come to the closet, which now has a knob, fancy that, with all of the sewing stuff, all of the fabric beautifully organized. Then basically all of the other notions one could possibly need, thread of some of my scraps over there, and some boxes. Then we have the armoire right here, which has some hats and my wig on top of there. And of course all of my vintage dresses and other things that are not technically vintage but ought to be hung. And then in that bottom drawer I've decided to put things that need to be mended, like clothes that have buttons falling off and that kind of deal. Beautiful chair, beautiful waste paper basket. Oh, and also, the door has been painted. It's still not perfect, but it definitely looks better than it did before. So that is the finished room. I hope you like the finished room as much as I do. I'm super excited to film in here, and thanks for coming along for the transformation process with me. So that would be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and all that jazz, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! And then put a bunch of books, mostly on the topper shelf. The topper shelf? And then we have the armoire. Blender, blender, blender. Blender, blender, blender. Blender, blender, blender. Oh, it's the blender now.